and I don't want to take too much time, so you don't have to repeat after me. But I just kind of want to explain what happened yesterday, what we did, and why. Yesterday, I was arrested with 6 others for interfering with traffic at the corner of 6th Street and 2nd Avenue in front of U.S. Bank. We did it to draw attention to the fact that there were over 25,000 foreclosures in Minnesota in 2010. U.S. Bank is not responsible for all of these foreclosures, but they are part of a system in which people are exploited and profits are maximized to benefit the richest 1% of Americans. So why were there so many foreclosures in our state last year? Increased unemployment has put countless families in a situation where they can't make their mortgage payments. And too often, the big banks refuse to negotiate with people and they end up losing their homes. This is all happening in a context where corporate profits are at an all-time high and wages are at an all-time low. On Wednesday of this week, U.S. Bank proudly announced nearly $1.3 billion profits over just the third quarter of 2011. U.S. Bank CEO Richard Davis saw his income double to $18 million this year, while ordinary Americans are struggling to make ends meet. This isn't right. When we went into the street yesterday, over 100 people rallied with us to deliver a message that we oppose foreclosures and corporate greed. I'm sure some motorists were inconvenienced by our actions, but we did it to call attention to the thousands of Minnesotans who are suffering from more than a few extra minutes in traffic. Our sisters and brothers are losing their jobs, they're being forced from their homes, they're being targeted by anti-immigrant raids and racist prosecution. And all this goes on while young people are facing cuts to education, rising tuition costs, and military recruiters that send them into unjust wars. The politicians in both major parties prioritize the whims of the wealthy because they depend on donations from millionaires to further their political careers. They say we shouldn't raise taxes on our so-called job creators, but corporate executives aren't creating jobs. They're pocketing record profits and pressuring politicians to cut education and programs that help the most vulnerable people among us. Now, I just mentioned a lot of things, and I know there's been talk about simplifying our demands, and there have been questions about what our demands should be, but I think that these issues are all connected, and that it's time to show those in power, not just tell them, but show them that we won't stand for these injustices anymore. And we're willing to take risks and face consequences because we believe in this movement and its potential for positive change. The original plan for yesterday's action was to set up a tent in the U.S. Bank lobby, inside the building. But when that plan was thwarted twice by security, we came outside, we met up with the big crowd of supporters, and we took our tents into the intersection in front of the bank. We rallied there for over an hour, and the police were very reluctant to make arrests. I said this yesterday, and I'll say again, they don't want to arrest us because they know that this movement has widespread support across the country and around the world. When people warned us to leave the street, I refused because I believe it's time to raise the level of protest in this country. The momentum of the Occupy Wall Street protest has provided us with an amazing opportunity to channel our collective outrage at the injustices all around us. I believe that the problems we face have been created by an unjust system, and I think that if we want to challenge and ultimately change this system, we need to be open to stepping outside the bounds of state-sanctioned cooperative protest. We can follow their rules and their laws all day long, but if we never interfere with business as usual, the 1% will keep right on going to the bank and won't feel any real pressure to listen to us. If we don't raise the social cost of perpetuating an unjust system, it'll only continue the way it is now or get worse. I got arrested today because I believe that now is the time to challenge the status quo rather than comply with it. I hope that we can strengthen our solidarity and grow in our respect for diversity of tactics, and I think we'll be most effective if we support each other and allow each other the space and the freedom to plan actions that we find motivating and necessary. The news is saying that over 80% of Americans have heard of this movement, and the majority have a favorable impression. This is really an amazing phenomenon. We are not as powerless and as marginalized as we have been made to feel. We are powerful. And thank you so much, everybody, for being out here, and to those who supported us yesterday, we really appreciate it. Have a great night, and let's keep coming out here. Thank you.